So fortunately, that Sunday, right after the diagnosis, I was at Sunday school and I asked my class to pray for me, and a man was visiting. And afterwards, he came up to me and he told me, with all the confidence and authority, I guess, that I could see in anyone, he said, "Did you know that if you change the way you eat radically, you will have more than a 20% chance of living beyond 5 years?" And I kind of asked, I said, "What do you mean?" And so he began to tell me that if I would drop all refined sugar, switch to a plant-based diet, and and do some research on superfoods and do some other things. I mean, there was a whole anti-cancer lifestyle that he was trying to explain to me, then I would have a greater chance. Well, I really thought he sounded like he was speaking another language to me. I could not connect with that whatsoever. But he gave me a list of things that I needed to look up and some links to some websites. And then the next week when I came back, he said, "Did you go and look at what I told you?" And I said, "No." So this went on for week after week, probably about a month. I just had no faith whatsoever that anything other than chemotherapy or radiation could help me. And finally, the man was expending so much energy and concern, and I didn't want to. I just felt like it was only fair and polite for me to really look at it, give it an honest look, and then go back to him and tell him thank you. But I did not expect to be impressed or convinced in any way. So I sat down on my computer one day, and I don't remember, I wish I'd journaled exactly what I looked up the first time and just the steps that I went through. But that first day, I'm sure I started with sugar. I'm sure I started typing in, cancer and sugar. Does cancer feed sugar? And then it was just one thing led to another. And I began on that first Saturday, I began reading stories from people all over the world. Young people, old people, people with all kinds of cancer that were actually doing better. They were either living longer or they were reversing cancer through an integrative approach, sometimes conventional only, sometimes integrative, and sometimes holistic only. But there was a common theme a common thread that kept going through everyone's story. And that was when people dropped refined sugar and switched to a plant-based diet. Now that could mean that they still eat some meat, but they make it more their side dish, and they make sure it's clean, free of hormones and antibiotics and things like that. And if they change their mental and emotional state when they decided to be positive and listen to maybe classical music and do yoga or exercise and deep breathing and forgiving and loving and self-love and self-care, when people began to do a lot of these things, they were seeing amazing results.